Yes, that is correct. I let ChatGPT pick 3 out-of-pocket manga for me to read. And yeah, I did catch myself more than once thinking, why the hell am I doing this video? But enough of my babbling. Let me briefly introduce you to the 3 manga I'm going to be reading. The first one's Fire Punch, the second one's I Am Hero, and the third one's Pygmalion or Pygmalion. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to pronounce it wrong this whole fucking video. Fight me in the comments. I don't really care. I Am Hero. Yeah, that's the first one we'll be talking about. Definitely not the most messed up one on this list. I think the next one I'm going to cover is definitely the most messed up. But yeah, let me introduce you to this one. It's a manga about zombies, but they are the least scariest part of this manga. The scariest part is the main character. Yeah, what a twist, I guess, you know. Honestly, this manga was misleading for the first 5 chapters. I looked at this manga, thought it was going to be a cool action, freaking zombie apocalypse gore shooter. I was right about one of those. It's a gore shooter, but this shit is one of the most messed up zombie stories I've ever read, personally. Like, the main character just starts seeing shit and talks to himself. How he copes with his schizophrenic outbreaks is he gets in a fetal position and goes, I am a hero, I am a hero. Like, what the fuck? I'm scratching my head. I can't even describe how messed up this one was. But after all of that, the tone shift in this manga is a whole nother level of a tone shift. You already have this eerie looking creepy vibe because whenever he starts hallucinating, hands start coming out of walls and weird shit starts happening. But like, also, he has a goddamn 12-gauge shotgun in Japan. I thought that shit was illegal. But I don't know. I'm American. I don't really have an opinion about, or don't even know what's going on over there. Don't shoot me. But yeah, I'm just like... And then the only time the main character has a mental breakdown in this manga is when he just starts seeing shit. Like he can see a zombie and, you know, fucking be fine. Like when his girlfriend turns into a zombie and he's slamming her head in the door, and then the fucking one lady comes up with her head all crooked and shit. Like and then he goes, "Hey, can you help me? Can you call the ambulance?" Like, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Like, I don't know. And don't even get me started on the little kid that's in his apartment. Like, is the thing real or fake? I don't know. They never really talk to it. I'm just losing it, bro. That, whatever that thing's name is, it's an op. I can tell you that much for sure. But other than all that, it's a pretty good, you know, manga to read in your absolute free time if you have no other options to read. But after all the hallucination bullshit, we get on to my favorite part of any manga, the art. That's right, I'm an art whore, an art junkie, an art meat writer. I don't care. The art and the zombies in this are done so well. They make it creepy. And so does the main character, because he's a 35-year-old man into porn and shit. But past that, if you didn't think him hallucinating changed the vibes of this already weird manga, the zombies and the art do it more justice than it deserves. Like, I saw his girlfriend for the first time turn into a zombie. I was like, what the hell? It was creepy. And then when she pulled his head through the door and was fucking pulling him, and he was just like, you need to stop. Ow. That hurts. In his, I imagine, the most white boy voice ever. And then she fucking rips the other zombie's jaw off with her foot. I was like, what the hell? Like, the attention to detail on the zombies' faces and stuff like that is on a whole nother level. And the dark, eerie vibes you get from when they're exploring the city, and there's literally nobody there. It's crazy. And don't even get me started on the disturbing images of the zombies after getting hit by the trucks and stuff like that. He spares no details. He shows you it all, front and center. And let me just get this out of the way. The author is willing to show literally anything to, you know, catch the reader's attention or catch them off guard. Like, the Nezuko clone thing has this weird freaking, you know, when she's seeing shit and she's ripping open stuffed animals because that's what she sees. Like, I'm sitting here like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm sitting here like, I don't need to see you ripping out somebody's guts. Don't cut back to what's happening in real life. That shit's gross. And then don't even get me started on the straight up pornography in this fucking manga, bro. I was not ready for this shit. And just the overall grossness, right? Like, there's a point in this manga where they're driving and this one girl has to take a piss, but they can't, so she pisses herself and then hits the main character with her piss pants. And the main character is a weirdo, and he's like, ew, 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 and then he just keeps taking glances at her without a freaking whatever on, bro. I'm just... This manga is definitely one of those not meant for children manga, and yeah, the author is willing to show you anything. He'll catch you off guard at every turn, at literally anything. Like, there's a zombie with a big dent in its head who is a high jumper, and he's jumping fucking buildings, and I'm just like, what the hell? I didn't know zombies fucking could still train muscles. But yeah, no. He will go as far as he can to get his point across that he can survive you at any point in this manga. So here's my honest take on the manga. Leaving everything else aside from this manga, all the bullshit freaking fan service crap, you know what? I read 115 chapters. I didn't have to. I did. I recommend it if you're above the age of 18. Yeah. So, now, if you thought that the zombies and the mental breakdowns of that manga were bad, let's crank that up to 100 and set you on fire. Literally. Welcome the fire punch. After reading The Abomination of the Zombie Apocalypse, I thought maybe I'd read something a little more lighthearted, in a sense. I know these are going to be messed up, so I chose what I thought would be the lighter of the two manga I read. The Human Lighter, or Fire Punch. Yeah, I was sadly mistaken. This manga takes place in a ice-cold apocalypse. Yeah, everybody should be starting to sense a theme about horror books. There's always an apocalypse going on. But yeah, no, the first few pages open up with the main character chopping off his arm to feed his sister and the village. Yeah, everybody, not everybody, but some people have gifts. His gift is the gift of regeneration. Yeah, and it's not like this light regeneration gift. He instantly regenerates. He has a strong gift. And at the end of this chapter, they don't cut anything. They go straight to the incest. What the hell is this even about? That's what I was thinking this whole fucking time I was reading the first chapter. And usually at this point into talking about a manga, I would change my tone about how I'm talking to it. And you know, this next part, it gets better. Guess what? It doesn't. It gets worse. This one guy breaks into their village, lights everybody on fire, Aang's regenerative ability doesn't allow him to die, so he sits there burning on fire for 9 years and becomes a walking, living trauma campfire, where he just walks around forever, killing people he thinks is the guy that sets them on fire. Like, how do I even describe the plot of this manga? It's just a revenge story, because his sister dies after getting burnt and shit, and it's just... He's actually just a campfire. He saves people, and then his line is, I wasn't trying to save you, and then just starts walking away. He is the epitome of the NPC walk-off after your friend says some dumb shit to a girl. Like, you just cease to exist. That's what he does. He just walks away. Yeah, he's internally on fire for no goddamn reason this whole time. And then when he finds the guy, he goes to kill him, and then, by the way, spoiler alert, he forgives him by the end of the book, blacks out, and just kills him anyways. This whole arc was pointless. I don't even know. It was a pretty short manga. It was only 84 chapters, so I'm not loudly complaining. I am complaining, but, you know, it is what it is. And to think, it gets even worse. One day, he finally gets to the city to start fighting the fire guy. He, along the way, saves a guy, not a girl, by the way. They have the trap in this one, so don't fall for it, whoever I'm warning out there. But he tries to stop a cult with a god complex, and just ends up killing literally everybody and walking off. And during this point, this weird other person with the regenerative, or I think regenerative gift or whatever, just trying to film a movie, and is like setting all this. It's a bunch of bullshit. I'll just tell you that, bunch of bullshit. And he meets somebody who looks like his sister, so he starts calling her his sister, and whatever the fuck is happening there. Yeah. What the hell is even this about? And then, also, she does, like, a whole entire Rocky training arc with him, and she even, like, in-universe says she's gonna record a training arc. I don't even know about this manga at this point. It's gory, he's always on fire, and it just... it takes one step forward to take 4 steps backwards. So it never gets onto the actual point of the manga. As always, I come back to the art. And you know what? The art is good. It's great. It's a little complex sometimes, which is fine. It is what it is. The scene I probably already showed you early on in the video, if the future editor put it in there. There's a scene that lives absolutely rent-free in my brain, where he's having a mental breakdown, but he smiles while he's not on fire, and it just looks like he's a creepy 35-year-old dude. Like, I don't know. And also, he meets his sister with parentheses sister, and he just sleeps with her later on because he doesn't want to admit that he's fire punched because he killed a lot of people. Dude, I'm mentally scarred from this manga. So after reflecting on this manga, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Was this a genius manga made by somebody, or was it a absolute catastrophe? I don't know. I don't know. It could be a cry for help. I don't know. But at this point in this video, I figured I couldn't be surprised by much in this next manga. And then Pygmalion walked in, bent me over, and said, "Let me show you something bigger." So let me introduce you to Pygmalion. So if I were to describe Pygmalion or Pygmalion in one full sentence, it would be if Chuck E. Cheese decided to start a genocide on the whole world with its mascots. Yeah, I know. Already a great start to a manga that you don't even want to read in the first place. This guy, me. But, on first glances of the cover, I already knew it was going to be bad. When there's fucking a little kid with ripping open his eyeball like a zipper. Like, I don't know. This is going to be my one and only warning for this section of the video. This is not for kids. No matter what you're thinking, it's not for kids. Not even in the slightest sense. The nudity and the overall gore trumps every other manga before I started talking about this. So, but moving past that, disclaimer, at the start of this, it was really lighthearted, and it was talking about how this parents, they're going to an amusement park and shit, and the kid was having fun, running around, doing cool shit, and he was with a childhood friend, and then out of goddamn nowhere, a mascot proceeds to punch the head off of a random civilian, and I was just like, what the hell? And it showed a lot of blood from that. And he just started going after the main character. Everything went downhill from there. Everybody started dying. Everybody was running everywhere. Whole bunch of mascots. And then there was this mascot that could scream and shit. And then, I don't even know. The little kid gets freaking chomped down on and becomes a mascot. And I was like, this is getting real fucking weird. For a little while, I thought it was just going to be a parody or something like that. But no, this shit was not a parody. I repeat, not a parody. This shit went downhill in one chapter, or a few chapters, real goddamn quick. But what I mainly want to focus on is the art, and even more specifically, the gore of this. The art's pretty simple. It's something you would expect out of a low-tier manga, or a spin-off manga or something like that. But the gore takes that spin-off manga level into a main manga level just on the attention to detail on any wounds, anything that's happening. When the kid's missing a section of his face, and I'm like, what the hell? They are going way in depth. I was like, I'm starting to feel sick just from reading this. And don't even get me started on the one mascot that's just a pig mascot, and that's just, doing the madness, doing, the good old, not good old anything, R word or whatever, to a whole bunch of women and dudes, apparently. It's pretty messed up. And just the visuals of, when the mascots get really mad, really make this manga pop out to me in any sort of way. It just makes me want to look at the panel. The visuals are quite amazing in this. So, my final thoughts on Pygmalion. The art was cool, the gore was cool, but, no, actually, none of it was. I would not recommend reading this at any point in time. Just let it go by. Forget that this was even a part of this video and don't ever talk about it again. But, yeah, between the zombies and the psychopathic main character who has schizophrenic outbreaks, the Human Torch who just is an NPC, and now the killer mascots that are Chuck E. Cheese mascots taking over the world, I think ChatGPT really did not like me asking for certain things and just decided to punish me. So, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that comment. And comment something worse than Pygmalion. I dare you. I bet you can't find anything. And if you want more videos like this manga video, make sure to comment and like. And I'll maybe think about it. Bye.